So the first thought is I'm glad that social media wasn't around when I was a new teacher, when I was in college and sort of up and coming, because I know I would have made really bad mistakes that may have ended my career before it started. And I realize that I teach in a certain environment now that affords me a different level of freedom than a lot of people have. Um, but I think the key is the word that I wrote down is I think the key is appropriateness. And by appropriate, I don't mean right or wrong. I mean appropriate to the place, the people, and the occasion. And I hope always humane and kind. So there may be certain platforms where you are not associated with your school. You might not even be associated with your name, that allows you to have a presence in a way that it doesn't when it says so and so teaches it so and so, and it's much more connected. Um, Sometimes we sacrifice a little bit of our freedom and autonomy for professional gain. Sometimes we just don't say things that we have every right to say, or that we're entitled to say, because doing that will put us in a position to be less effective or less successful, and that's life. I think if you have a problem with that, just check out and don't participate in social media at all. Uh, there are times when we don't go as far as we could because we know we have other responsibilities. And the final thing I'd add about this is that appropriate does not mean invisible. Appropriate does not mean apathetic. Appropriate does not mean unfunny. Appropriate does not mean disengaged from the world in which you live and the communities to which you belong. If your profession requires you to hide your authenticity, you may be in the wrong profession or you may be in the wrong place. If welcoming a child is really important to you and you want to represent that in your life, some people will say that is automatically unprofessional. Other people will say that's who you are, that's something to be celebrated. If you're in a relationship that might be a little less traditional in your community, you might want to think about, what am I willing to sacrifice? What am I not willing to sacrifice? What am I willing to, what's important to me? Yesterday was my arrival day. I'm adopted. Yesterday was the 43rd anniversary of when I came to the United States. I have increasingly become more vocal. Chuseok, the Korean Thanksgiving, is coming up on the 30th of September. We're in the Jewish high holidays. I've become increasingly emboldened in sharing those things because I think it's important for the world to know. I think it's important for my students to know that this is part of my life. I'm not posting pictures with a red Solo cup dancing on a table in a bar. And I'm much more forward than most people on social media. So even I have a line. There's a lot of political stuff on there right now. But I think the key to everyone is figuring out that appropriateness question. What is appropriate to this place, this relationship, and this time? And always, well, I say always, except I make an exception for Hollywood celebrities and politicians, always kind, always kind.